this is Jackie, and I'm here with Firekid on day 2 of Bonnaroo. How's it going so far for you?
This is day 1 for us, and it was amazing. We just played.
And you played the Miller Lite stage?
We did. We played the New Artists on Tap stage. We had a good crowd. I was sort of surprised. We played at 2 o'clock, which isn't like super early, but we had a great crowd, and they were really energetic. They must have gotten up early this morning.
Nice. In this heat, what do you do to get a crowd motivated and moving with you?
Well, mostly you just encourage them to stay hydrated, first and foremost. And then, you don't have to worry. You can just encourage them to move even more.
Just survive. That's always a good
yeah,
start.
Yeah, and if they're standing up straight, then you're good.
So describe the songwriting process on your guys' self-titled release.
Yeah, the songs were written over the course of about a year and a half with 2 of my best friends. And a lot of the songs came from just me sitting down with the guitar and writing them, but a lot of the songs came from production ideas I had. I just recently started delving into making beats. I come from a bluegrass background, so it was really foreign to me, but it was sort of like a painter learning how to sculpt or something. It was a new medium, and I really took to it.
How do you make that jump from bluegrass to sort of more programmed, computer-based technology?
Let me tell you, it was like going through puberty or something. It was quite an awkward transition, but it just came from me putting in a bunch of hours into doing it. And I spent a lot of time in a van and on a plane where I can just have my laptop and just experiment and explore.
People sitting next to you get a good first listen.
I try to keep it in the headphones. One thing that is weird when I'm on a plane is I program music on a Nintendo Game Boy sometimes because we use it in our shows, and I do get some weird looks from people sitting next to me on a plane when I have a Game Boy. They haven't seen one of those in 10 years at least.
I was gonna say, I think I have one. It's like a big gray brick.
It's in your mom's basement. Yeah.
I still own the Nintendo NES, the big gray
Nice.
box.
Yeah,
so,
the big brick.
That'd be cool to be able to program some stuff on there.
Yeah, it's actually not super hard. There's a program that it's called LSDJ, and if you're interested in programming any old retro gaming, that's a good way to start. LSDJ. It's a silly name, but it's hard to forget.
I like that. I don't know if I want to take apart my NES, though.
You actually don't have to. It's all about buying a special cartridge, like a game cartridge. There's a few people that make the cartridges.
Neat.
There you go.
Good to know. So on your self-titled release, what are some messages that you hope fans take away from the songs they hear?
Yeah, I think it's all about escapism and about hope. It's a really, I think, a positive message. It was a time when I was questioning what it meant to be a spiritual person, or I sort of moved away from my parents' house for the first time. I graduated college. I was going through a lot of life changes and sort of turning into who I am now. So I think it's sort of about a journey of finding myself, and I think other people can have a similar experience.
I think that growing pains is something that's very relatable.
Yeah, I'm noticing our conversation. I'm talking a lot about my growing pains. Yeah, it's a real thing.
So what did you listen to growing up?
I was pretty sheltered. My parents mostly listened to Shania Twain and Southern Gospel, and so that was my background. My first concert was Celine Dion. Believe it or not, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, that was my first concert. But then I discovered bluegrass and acoustic roots music at age 11, and that's all I listened to. Mostly just the instrumental music. I listened to guitarists like Tony Rice and Doc Watson. Not much singing. And then in high school, I heard Gnarls Barkley and Gorillaz for the first time and thought it was the most amazing thing. And then I found John Mayer and a few songwriters after that turned me on to singing and whatnot.
That's quite a jump. Very eclectic.
I just like to make big jumps. Yeah.
Well, Bonnaroo is also good for those big jumps. Super Jam is known for bringing together artists that don't normally play together. If you could collaborate with an artist outside of your genre, who would you collaborate with?
Michael McDonald. Listen, baby.
You should do musical impressions on the side.
Right. That's my fallback, actually.
So other than doing musical impressions, what makes for a memorable live performance?
I think, honestly, we're probably the only show that people see at festivals or when they go out where you see a Nintendo Game Boy, use it as an instrument. We sometimes use a Sega Genesis as well, but I've just gotten really into the sounds that they make. And a lot of it was we couldn't afford the expensive synthesizers, so we had these instruments or game consoles just laying around, so we started using them. But I think that's what people talk about after the shows, is how weird that was, but I think they like it.
Well, at least you're not a video game elitist. You cross over to Sega. That's good.
That's right. I crossed over to Sega. I'm not a diehard Nintendo person.
Fair enough. So how do outdoor festivals like this one, other than the weather, differ from the more intimate club gigs that you're doing right now?
What's cool is I noticed when we were playing today, I recognized a lot of people in the audience from like longtime fans of ours that have come to shows all over the country that are here. So it's really cool, I think, most of all, to do these outdoor festivals or just festivals at all where people can, they've seen you in different cities, but then they can all sort of congregate. So, I didn't expect to have such a big crowd today. I was thinking, well, we do okay in Tennessee. Our real market's like the Midwest, but I saw everyone. We had such a diverse crowd today. I think that's the best part about it.
Good diversity. You're opening right now for Brett Denning.
Denning. That's right.
How do you, being the warm-up act is not always easy. So what do you do other than, clearly the visual of playing with the video games is something, but how else do you make sure you've gotten that crowd to kind of follow along with you?
Sometimes they're easier than others, but usually we have really good luck because I think that when you put on a performance, especially as an opener, it's good to have a conversation with the crowd because it's not just about like you talking at them. You're like a stranger to them. They didn't necessarily. Some people come to see us. We have people that come to the shows, but it's Brett Denning's crowd at these shows. But we just want to hear them, listen to them, and just sort of talk to them. And when people feel like they're being heard, they're more attentive, honestly. So that's how we went over to crowd. And we're pretty dumb. We do silly things, so that helps.
Nothing wrong with getting silly. What's up next for you after Bonnaroo?
We're doing Lollapalooza this year, and we have another festival later in the fall that's pending. So no other big tours planned. We're working on a record right now, but
Lollapalooza's pretty big.
It's pretty big. Yeah. It's funny. We did South by this year. We did Bonnaroo, obviously, and then we're doing Lolla. So I'm knocking off a bunch of the festivals I wanted to play on my bucket list in a very short period of time.
That's very impressive. So what, other than these great festivals that you're booking, what does success look like for you or feel like for you in 2016 when record sales aren't the pinnacle or the tell-all anymore?
Yeah, I think that's obviously happening now. I just want to be able to play. Continue playing shows and maybe grow our fan base, but most of all, I just want music to be a sustainable, long-term career for me because I'm not in it for some sort of short-term success. It's really all I know how to do. So if music didn't work out, I'd have to just go to doing impressions, And who wants to do that, really?
There are comedians here that might say otherwise, but it's okay.
Yeah, but they're good. They're professionals, and I'm just a scrub.
It's way cool.
Scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me.
I'm going to have that song stuck in my head the rest of the afternoon. I appreciate that. Stay tuned for much more from Firekid. This is Jackie. Thanks to In the Key of Change and Chorus.fm.